Hi, boys and girls. Ms. Gorman here with the first packet that was passed out last week. I had a few questions here I had people sending questions about the arrays portion. So there are 3 pages of arrays. I wouldn't recommend doing them all one day. I'd recommend you sitting down and doing them throughout the week. Here we go. So I have my packet right here. I just have labeled it saying packet 1, the date. And I'm going to turn to those arrays and we're going to work them out here on the board. So here's the first page. I'm on this one right here, A. 2 rows of apples, 3 apples in each row. How many apples? Well, I know from what I've learned this year that rows go this way. So it says there are 2 rows. So that means here's the first row, here's the second row. And then I'm going back to the problem. I'm reading it says there are 3 apples in each row. So if I know there are 2 rows and 3 apples in each row, I can draw it out here. So here are my apples. You can do circles, you can do stars, you can do smiley faces. I just chose X's because they're easy. And then how many apples? So I see my 2 rows with the 1, 2, 3 apples in each row. Here's 1, 2, 3 to double check. So I see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 apples total. If I were to write the multiplication sentence, the multiplication sentence would be 2 rows of 3. And I know that 2 times 3 is 6. All right, so then I'm going to move on to this problem here. 2 rows of cookies, 6 cookies per row. How many cookies? So if I read the problem, I know there are 2 rows, and I know that rows go this way, so I'm going to draw my 2 lines. And there are 6 cookies. Here are the 2 rows. My 6 cookies per row. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I have 1 more row to add my 6 cookies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is my 2 rows of cookies with 6 cookies per row. So it says how many cookies? So I can either count them up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But these are arrays. So I am going to do the multiplication problem. And the multiplication problem for this one is 2 groups of 6. And 2 times 6 is 12 cookies. The last problem with the apples, I forgot to label here. So I'm remembering to do that. So that's that problem. All right, so now I'm on C. It says 2 rows of crabs, 8 crabs in each row. How many crabs? So, like the last 2, I know there are 2 rows. So here's the 2, and I draw the lines to remind myself. And then it says 8 crabs in each row. So I have to draw 8 of circles, stars, X's, whatever in each row. So I'm going to do X's since they're fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is 2 and 8 this way. So the multiplication problem is how many rows there are, 2, and how many are in each row. So it's 2 groups of 8. So this is really saying 2 groups or rows of 8 crabs. And what's 2 times 8? 16, right. 16 crabs. I'm going to skip a few problems and go down here to problem H, where it says 4 rows of girls, 5 girls in each row. How many girls? So you're doing this just like the other problems with the 2 rows, but instead of 2 rows, you're going to have 4 rows of girls. So I'm going to draw the lines again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are my 4 rows. So I'm going to draw the 4 here because I know that's on that side. And then it says 5 girls in each row. So I'm going to draw a G for the 5 girls. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how many girls are in each row? 5. So this one is saying, I'm gonna have to draw it up here. There are 4 rows of 5 girls. And the multiplication sentence is 4 times 5. And 4 times 5 is 5, 10, 15, 20. Or you can count by 4s. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. And you see there are 20, and then you got to write girls. All right, this is the last practice problem. I'm just kind of jumping around to give you a little bit of idea of how to do this. So the last one I'm going to touch on is this one with the tomatoes. So there are 7 rows of tomatoes with 5 tomatoes in each row. How many tomatoes are there? So I see there are 7 rows of tomatoes. So I'm going to draw a 7 here. And I'm going to make 7 rows with 5 tomatoes in each row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to count to make sure I have every row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those are my 7 rows. I got it. And everyone has 5. So there are 7, and then 5 goes here because there are 5 in each row. So I'm going to count by 5 to get to my answer. So it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 35 is my answer. But I remember challenging you to put the multiplication sentence, and the multiplication sentence for this one is 7. What did they use in the problem? 7 rows of 5 tomatoes. So that tells me it is 7 times 5 is, going back up to this, 35 tomatoes. Hard to write on this little board here. So there are 7 groups of 5. Remember, the multiplication sign means of. It's kind of a tricky word there, trying to be a little tricky. If you have any more questions on this topic or anything else in your packet, please feel free to let me know. I am more than willing to explain it to you. Bye.